Hello, Year 4. Today we're going to be looking at comparing decimals up to two decimal places. So we're just going to have a quick recap. I'm going to make a number and I want you to tell me the number, although I probably won't be able to hear you, but let's imagine that I can. So you have to say your answer to the screen. So let's make... What number have I made there? I've got 1 whole one, 3 tenths and 2 hundredths. So I've made 1.32. Okay, new number now. We have 3 whole ones. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths. And we've got 5 hundredths. So 3.55. Let's try one more. A little bit trickier now. Can you say the number? Two tens. Got no ones. We've got our decimal point. We've got no tenths, but we do have 3 hundredths. So it's 20.03. So that was a quick recap on how to say decimal numbers and what they look like using our place value column. Today we're going to be comparing two numbers. So I'm just going to split my screen. So let's look at these two numbers that I've made. I've got a number here and I've got a number here. And I want you to point to the biggest number. Now let's see if you're correct. So first of all, we're going to start with the digit that is most to the left. So that would be the tens. You can see both numbers don't have any tens. So then we'll look at the ones. This one has 2 ones. This one has 4 ones. So let's just write that. So that's 4. And here, point 5, 1. We've got 4 whole ones, 5 tenths, and 1 hundredth. So it's 4.51. And over here, we've got 2.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. So even though this one had way more counters than this number, you can see that this number is actually bigger because the most important column here was the ones, and this has 4 ones, and this number only had 2 ones. So this is bigger even though it has less coins. Let's try another one. So now I've created 2 new numbers. So let's start counting them from the left. Both got no tens, and they've both got 6 ones. So let's write that in. Let's stick on this side. This one has 3 tenths, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's got 9 hundredths. This one has more counters, but is it bigger? This 6.41. So we can see they're very close to each other, but it was this number that was the biggest number because it has more tenths than this one. And so we always look at the column that is to the left. Now, they both have the same amount of ones. So when that's the case, we need to look at the next column. which was the tenths, and this one had more tenths than this one. If we just put them next to each other, on top of each other, 6.39, you can quite clearly see that this number was bigger than this number. You won't always have place value counters to help you. They're there if you want them, but some of you might not want to use place value counters. An example question that you might have today is this: 3.62 and 4.11. And you have to put a symbol in this blue box. So would you put this symbol, or this symbol? Give you 5 seconds to think. Some of you might have forgotten what each symbol means. So let's just have a recap. This means greater than. This means the same as or equal to. And this means smaller than. And the way that I remember this is that I imagine that it's pointing, and it's always pointing to the smaller number. That's my little way of remembering. So we've got greater than, the same as, or smaller than. So which symbol would we put here? Well, let's have a look. 3.62 and 4.11. Well, this one has more ones. Therefore, 3.62 is less than 4.11. Now, it doesn't matter that this has more tenths and it has more hundredths, because the most important column in this calculation was the ones, and this one had more ones. And you can see the symbol is pointing to the smaller number. Let's look at another one. So here we've got 4.51, space for a symbol, and then 4.15. So which mathematical symbol would you put in the middle? Well, we can see that they've both got the same amount of ones. So now we look at the next place value column. This has 5 tenths. This only has 1 tenth. Therefore, this is the biggest number. This is the smallest number, so my math symbol is going to point to the smallest number. Now this calculation reads 4.51 is greater than 4.15. So now this calculation is correct. Let's get slightly more difficult now. Now, what mathematical symbol would you use to complete that calculation? Let's see if you're correct. Now, the hard thing about this one is that this is just 1 decimal place, and this number has got 2 decimal places. Now, some of you might think, oh, well, 29 is bigger than 4, so this is the biggest number. However, let's look. This has got 7 ones. Oops, change my color. This has got 7 ones, and this has got 7 ones. So now we look at the next place value column. Well, this has 4 tenths, and this only has 2 tenths. So this is the biggest number. Remember, 7.4 can also be written as 7.40. That's just saying that we've got no hundredths. Therefore, the correct symbol to use there was the greater than. And if it makes it easier for you, you can add your 0 on to make sure that the 2 numbers that you are comparing are both written to 2 decimal places. I know it makes it much easier for me.